Well, hello again, everybody. We're back with another episode. This is the last of the year's episodes. We'll be back after the new year with some more, but this is the finale to the 2019 shows. So, welcome, Ronan.
Welcome. Thanks for having me. Welcome, everybody.
Thanks for having your own show.
Yes.
Yes. All right. That's extreme modesty.
Yes.
Yes. So
I like to be modest around here.
Yes. To make up for me.
Thank you for letting me exist.
Yes. You're welcome.
That's okay.
We're going to look at the best Blu-rays of the year. What we think are the best Blu-rays of the year. What's good about this is we can choose films for whenever. We don't have to stuck to 2019. It's just like whatever was released in 2019, we will cover it. So
it has been a pretty impressive year.
One would say it's better in Blu-ray than it has been in the cinema.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't go to the cinema as much as I used to, or at all. So for me, the Blu-ray market and the home market is way more important, and the specialty labels have just knocked out the park this year.
Yeah, I actually was looking at one of my best films of the year, and I realised that half of them was released in the world over the last 2 years. We finally got them, so if it wasn't for them, I'd be struggling to get 10 films. Most of them were most of my favourite stuff were stuff that was made years ago and it was released here this year. So that's how kind of weak it's been this year for actually new releases.
Yeah, because obviously you've made quite a few videos on your channel highlighting films that have been released in the cinema that perhaps haven't been very good.
What, you mean like Terminator Dark Fate, maybe?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I can still run it with that film quite easily. If everyone wants to do it on request, I can still run it with Terminator Dark Fate. I have no problem ranting with that one. But this is the good stuff. This is the great releases. I had to actually look at some of the titles and say, was this released this year? Did I just watch it this year? Because there was some I wrote down and realised, no, they were actually released last year. I just didn't buy them to this year.
Yeah.
So that's always a problem. But I figured it all out. And if I've made a mistake and brought one up from last year, I don't care. Do not correct me. I don't care. What yourself?
Yeah, I mean, for me, certainly since I've been doing my YouTube channel, which is about a year and a bit, it's funny because I obviously did a series of videos on films that should get Blu-ray releases, and there's been rather a lot of them that have actually had Blu-ray releases over the last year, so hopefully I'm going to keep saying it and then more and more will be released.
Yeah, even some of them don't get Blu-ray releases, you actually get them on like streaming, so you actually can see them. I mean, City of Hope you can get in DVD or Blu-ray, but you can get it in Amazon streaming. You can do that now. It's a start, really.
Yeah, because I actually got a few comments from a subscriber on my John Sayles video quite recently, this past week, and he was saying he was desperate to try and get City of Hope, and he actually tracked it down somewhere that you can actually stream it.
Yeah.
So that was actually quite pleasing. That, I mean, hopefully one day that'll actually get a proper release, but the fact you can actually see it is a start. Yes.
I actually watched a John Sayles written movie last night, which is Piranha, the Joe Dante classic Piranha. And it's so well written for a monster movie. It was really a joy, because in between the monster scenes, you had actual dialogue. It was quite nice change. So that's nothing to do with this thing, but I just thought I'd bring it up because I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. And it does a nice double bill with Alligator, which he also co-wrote as well.
Plus, I know you're never going to object to me mentioning John Sayles in this, so...
No, I'm slightly biased, as everybody knows.
Yes. So, do you want us to do we'll just discuss what ones we've got? 'Cause I don't know what you've got, you don't know what I've got. But I haven't really done any top 10 things. I've just done a general list of stuff I thought are great.
Yeah, I mean, same with me. I haven't particularly organised it. So do you want to just go ahead with a couple and we'll see if we have the same list?
Right, Okay, I'm going to start with Godzilla Criterion. That's like an obvious start for me because,
Thought you might.
yeah, it was kind of obvious I was going to start with that one. I wanted to get it out of the way actually because it's like, yeah, I've just done a video on it. Everyone knows I've bought it. It's great. They were actually going to re-release it or do a reissue of it because it's sold out and now they're going to reissue it from Criterion. So it's not even going to be limited to what the original run was. And I know someone already who didn't get the limited run who is very happy with that. So
Yes. Yeah, I did notice that it's sold out very, 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 very quickly.
yeah, I think it was a pent up thing of people wanting to see these films, and they're a great release. There's some nice extras. There's not tons of extras, but they're nice, and the picture quality is good on them. They're very enjoyable. I mean, I can say just go and see my video on them because I discuss all that in my video, but I don't want to hog the conversation with Godzilla. But
I mean, yeah, I don't know whether we should just kind of almost do it by label. So if we're talking about Criterion,
all right, that's fine.
Obviously, me being biased, I think the best release or the most important release for me this year has to be John Sayles' Matewan on Criterion. The spine number before the Godzilla box set.
That doesn't make it better.
It's such an important American film. It's still relevant. It's absolutely beautiful. The making of documentaries are really fascinating. The commentary is wonderful with Sayles and Wexler, because Sayles is just one of those guys you can just listen to for hours. And again, his commentary will pretty much tell you how to make a low-budget film. And the other Criterion release that I really loved was Local Hero. Bill Forsyth, just beautiful, almost fairy tale film. Again, a film that had never been released in Blu-ray, and finally Criterion released it. It also got a Region B release in the UK. But those two Criterions, personally, were just fantastic for me.
Yeah, I bought Local Hero on Amazon streaming like just before those releases were announced. I literally bought it, and it was like then they were announced like the week after, and I was like, "Oh damn it!" It was I wasn't going to spend money twice on it. I'll probably get it with the Criterion eventually, but not quite yet because I can see it where I've got it. I mean, my other Criterion ones is one is Oh Hazard Balthazar, which came out earlier in the year, which is a very nice print. I did a video on it. I don't know what I did a video on. It's a wonderful film. It was nice to see it get some love from Criterion. So I'd definitely say get that one. It's released in Britain and all around the world, so it's easy. You can get it Region A or Region B. You're pretty cheap to find it, and it's not very expensive, so shouldn't be a problem.
I picked that one up on pre-order.
Yep, and there's also Until the End of the World, the director's cut in Criterion, which is a 5-hour epic. I'm waiting on it just now. It hasn't arrived, but I've seen the actual 5-hour cut on DVD. It's really worth getting. It's wonderful. It's like it was a film that was cut to hell by the distributors and was cut down to 2.5 hours. So it was you lost half the film, basically.
Yeah, I remember when it came out, but I think I do need to pick it up at some point.
Yeah, because when you watch the film, I really liked the film. I saw it in the cinema when it came out, but you always felt when you watched it, it was been cut down. You'd heard it been cut down, you just felt it in the film. But seeing the new version is much better because you actually can sense this is much more what it should have been. It was a roadshow type of film. It was on for a while, it wandered around, it wasn't too tightly edited, but that was the charm of it, the way Wim Wenders tends to have films that wander a lot. So
No, sorry, I was just going to ask, is it split over 2 discs, or is it...
Yeah. I mean, in DVD it was split over 3 discs, but now it's only over 2 discs. So yeah, you get some nice interview extras with it, from what I've read. I'm very much looking forward to the disc, but I was really because the film and getting it in Blu-ray is a big thing for me because I've been wanting that in Blu-ray for a long time. Because the soundtrack as well is amazing, so this is a very underrated film. Right, what's the next next distributor you want to pull up?
Well, I was just going to just quickly mention Network Releasing, who aren't perhaps the most famous one or the most popular one, but they do kind of come up with little British films from the 50s and 60s. And recently,
Conga.
Yeah, they recently released the Monty Python box set. But they also released O Rosalinda by Powell and Pressburger, which isn't their best film, but for Powell and Pressburger fans, it is a welcome release. We can only hope for the elusive Pimpernel somehow appears.
Yeah, go see everyone's video on O Rosalinda. It's very good.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
And they also released 2 Tony Hancock films, The Rebel and the Punch and Judy Man, on Blu-ray. So again, they're more almost like a nostalgic look at British cinema, but it's British cinema, when they were good, and interesting. They do a bunch of, and they recently had a sale. Well, recently, a couple of months ago, where everything was like $5.99 or something. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I should point out that Ronan went and got the classic titles from Network. I went for the pure trash and just went for everything that looked like, who would buy that? Like I got one for 10 stamp called Link about a killer monkey. I bought it.
Yeah, I mean, they do have an interesting catalogue, I think.
There's a Frankie Howard horror movie that was released. I bought that as well. It's like...
I really need to get that.
The final program is based on this Michael Moorcock book, which I bought as well, which is apparently a disaster. But I wanted to see how weird it was. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff there. It's not just the classy stuff like Monty Python. It's like, if there's a weird British film that you've heard of and you wonder, where can I get it? Go to Network. They may have it. They've got some really good stuff. Plus,
just for collecting purposes, their Blu-rays are really thin, so you get more on a shelf, which is helpful as well.
Yeah. I saw a Blu-ray this year from them that was not released this year called The Ghoul, which was Boris Karloff, an old Boris Karloff one. It was really good. And it had a nice commentary with Kim Newman in it as well, which was very good, with Stephen Jones. And yeah, Network is great. There's some really good stuff. I've been eyeing up the sales I've got over Christmas just now to see what I can get when I can afford it. But yeah, they're very good. I would suggest Arrow next to get, because I'm sure we've both got some Arrow stuff.
Yes.
And I think it's probably better to kind of cover it. Like, do you want to start or I start?
Well, I would just mention Nightbreed.
Yep, I've got that one.
Which, for a long time, has kind of deserved more consideration or as close to Clive Barker's vision. This doesn't have the Cabal cut, which allegedly was like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
But it does have the director's cut. It makes much more sense. And if you're a fan of Barker, you kind of know that his film versions aren't quite his full vision, but there's a lot to like about it because he made the mistake in the studio's eyes of actually saying the monsters aren't the bad guys.
Yeah.
Which the studios
how radical
just got confused. And the making of's really good. The fact that the studios kind of wanted it to be a slasher film, which it just wasn't. And also a wonderful performance by David Cronenberg.
Yeah, I've bought that in Scream Factory and Arrow now, so I've got like 2 lots of it.
Yes, guilty as charged.
Yep, and the thing is, I read the book when it was first released, The Cabal, and the new cut feels a lot more like the book, and much more like the pleasures of the book, the things you want to see in the film from the book. You get to see them now, which is very nice. Like, you actually get the ending, the proper ending, which the most important scene in the book was cut out of the film, and now you actually get it again. So that's really nice to actually get the point of the actual story.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, one of the things that you do kind of get from all these releases, and if they do kind of history of the productions, you do get the feeling that producers just have no clue. And it's just like it's really frustrating sometimes when you go and you just hear about the decisions that were made for films, and it's just like, why would you think that was a good idea? This
is the same studio that made Exorcist Dominion, then remade the whole film as Exorcist the beginning. Same studio that did that. This brings me up to the next one, Exorcist 3, which has also had a release, which I
Yes.
thought you'd want to bring up too.
Yes, I think we're both in agreement about this film.
Yes, it's wonderful, and it's another film that you agree that George C. Scott's very good in. After, even though you're not a
Yes,
fan.
yes, I'm not a fan. I have to get T-shirts printed. I'm not a fan of George C. Scott, even though I own about 20 of his films.
Yeah, it's getting embarrassing now.
Yeah,
but the Exodus 3 is genuinely enjoyable, and
yeah,
the actual the new version of it is very good. You also get a terrific Kim Newman, Mark Kermode commentary on the new cut,
yes.
and you get a lot of all the extras brought over from America, which includes a very good interview with Peter Blatty, which plays over one of the cuts of the film as he talks about his inspirations. You get like a 5-part documentary. You get a new commentary about on the theatrical cut as well. You get just everything you want to know. You get a new introduction to the stuff. Something that was cut out of the. It wasn't even put back into the new cut, which was introducing Brad Dourif as Damien Karras. There's a whole bunch of stuff. This one's an endless trove of enjoyment.
Yeah. Arrow have done an amazing job with this one. The making of documentary, like you're talking about, was really impressive. It is a film that's one of those what if kind of, if the studio hadn't actually interfered.
Yes.
Even in its sort of director's cut, Legion cut,
Yeah.
it still has issues, but at the at the centre of it, it's just such a creepy, disturbing film that really didn't deserve the Exorcist on it.
And Brad Dourif will freak you out. He's creepy as hell in that film. I should also just point out I've did reviews of both of these films, Nightbreed and Exorcist 3, years ago, even before they were brought in Bluray. So go and look at my back catalogue, you'll find them.
It's another one I had in Scream Factory as well.
Yep, me too. I've also got Exorcist 2 in Scream Factory, just to bring it up.
Let's not talk about that one. Yeah.
I will if I want to.
Again, for me, the relationship between George C. Scott and Ed Flanders as the priest, it's just one of the greatest cinema relationships. The banter between the two of them, it's just absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, there's lots of little nice things. There's Scott Wilson as a crazy doctor who is in Knife Configuration, and he also was in with George C. Scott and Stacey Keach in New Centurions years ago. There's other Arrow ones also. I mean, there's RoboCop, the new RoboCop, which has lots of nice extras. It's very nice release. That film's been released a lot, so it's like it's good to bring up. This is a very good one. It covers everything, but it's like it has been released multiple times on Blu-ray, so maybe it's less of a thing for some other people. But I still really enjoyed this version.
Yeah, it's a really nice addition.
And you get the theatrical and the original and the director's cut of this as well. There's also an American Werewolf in London, which is just released, which has a lot of nice extras and commentaries and documentaries, and it's another nice remastering, so you get to see the transformation in full glory.
Yeah, I mean, again, similar to RoboCop, it's had lots of releases before, but I would still recommend this release. It just is a smorgasbord of fun stuff.
Yeah, it kind of brings everything together, really. You get everything you want.
It's got beautiful artwork as well.
Yes. I'm trying to look down to see if there's any other ones I've got for Arrow. Yes, I've got the Vengeance trilogy, which is Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Lady Vengeance, and Old Boy. This started out as an Old Boy release, and that's when I bought it, and then it transferred over to Vengeance trilogy. So I got it fairly cheap, so I was quite pleased.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful collection. There's lots of nice extras on it. I haven't watched it yet, but I've looked at the picture quality and stuff, and it all looks terrific. This is a great series of films. I'm unusual. My favourite is Lady Vengeance of the three, but they're all great. You'll all be your favourites, but do you have any other Arrow ones?
not specifically, but I would say I would highly recommend checking out the Arrow Academy film noirs that they release, because they kind of release ones that I had never heard of, stuff like Women on the Run, Too Late for Tears, which they've done great jobs in restoration and kind of unearthing these little gems.
Yeah, you should watch.
And a lot of them are just wonderful.
Ronan has lots of these old film noirs on his channel, lots of reviews, so you should check them all out. They're all good. They're all bringing up films you might not have heard of, and like, are they even been released? Yeah, because our Academy is very good at that.
Yeah.
There's also one Our Academy I'm bringing up. It's called the Buddhist Trilogy, which was released this year. I bought it. I haven't watched it yet, but it looks really interesting. So,
I've bought it as well. So it's in my backlog.
Yeah, so I'm going to bring up a few that I haven't watched yet that still are worth considering, but most of the ones I'm bringing up I've seen.
Yeah.
I've also got another one to bring up that I just got, was Crystal of My Car, which is another Arrow Academy one. Again, I haven't seen it, but I've heard raves about it, and the box set is tremendous. You get booklets, you get lots of stuff in it. It's like, they put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, and they also released a Mario Bava box set, which I haven't got because I've got all the individual titles, but the box does look beautiful, and there's a nice big thick book in it as well. It's a lovely green box.
Yeah, I was the same way. I bought them all individually, so there was no real point in buying the box set. But yeah, it's a very nice box. I've heard that Arrow's actually losing their licenses to Bava stuff soon, so that's probably the last. So I guess in case if you want them, you better buy them now, because they're going to go out of print soon.
Yeah, so I mean, Arrow, I think, is one of everybody's favourite, just because they have the Arrow Academy side, which is kind of world cinema and film noir and westerns, and then they also have the Arrow video side, which is slashers and more kind of horror stuff. They just have a great kind of mix.
Yeah, I mean, it's always terrifying when because every 2 weeks, either you get the Arrow Academy one, or 2 weeks later you get the Arrow main one, and so every 2 weeks you get a new release schedule come out, and you always think, please not be too many films I want, please not too many films I want, and then they come out and you pre-order way too much, and it's like, you bastards.
Yes.
You got me again.
Yes.
They also released Andromeda Strain earlier on this year, which was a very nice release. A new remaster. It was very good. I adore the Andromeda Strain, so it was very nice to see a good quality remaster of that one, because it's a film that's very good, but it's not been taken care of very well.
No.
So they actually did it proper justice, so that was quite nice. I've got one, it's just a one-off from Bud Blue, so I can give a shout out. It's A Bittersweet Life.
Oh yes.
For Touch of Film, I won this in a competition he did, so I want to give a shout out to the Touch of Films channel. It's very good. A lot of Asian films. He's doing some great work over there. Nice guy, very personable. You should check him out, because if you want to see anything good in Asian cinema, he's probably done a video on it before you even heard of it. So
yes,
I'd go over there, because that's where I go to find out what's new in Asian cinema, because he says he's hunting everything down there.
He's to blame for getting me into Plain Archive label and Nova Media releases, and he's pretty much the go-to for recommending Asian films.
Yeah, and basically try this website, try that website. Suddenly it's like, Christ, I'm in trouble now.
Yeah, I got the Bud Blue Bittersweet Life the old-fashioned way.
You bought it?
I bought it.
It's a great release. It's really wonderful.
Beautiful release. They don't seem to have any other releases of their own so far.
I guess it's the start. That's the start, really.
But it's a beautiful set.
Yep. So
a beautiful film as well.
I know it's an amazing film. Yeah. I'd never seen it before. I'd had it but never watched it, and then for a film watch was like, this is as good as people said it was.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yep.
Well, while I'm just mentioning Plain Archive, I'm just going to mention one, and that's the box set of Patterson by Jarmusch. which is just a beautiful box set of a beautiful kind of understated little film that struck a chord with me, and it's a really nice film. I mean, you can pick it up cheap on Blu-ray by Soda Pictures. They've released it, like most of the Jarmusch films, but the plain archive edition is beautiful.
Yeah, I've yet to see that film, but it's on my list to get. It's one of those ones that I need to get it. It's just like when did take the plunge, but
it's a quiet little film that kind of slowly creeps up on you.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jarmusch stuff is now getting released over here a lot easier than you did before. So you can start picking them up now, but they're hard to hold off sometimes.
Well, I was just going to mention one BFI title. There's probably some others that I've completely forgotten about, but for me, it's How I Won the War.
Yeah, that's in my list as well.
Absolute masterpiece, which just gets better with age, I feel. When I first saw it in DVD, apart from anything else, it was almost pitch black at times. You could see there was some kind of genius there, but it was kind of rough around the edges. But I think with Blu-ray releases, I got it in Kino Lorber, Region A, but then BFI have released it this year, and it just gets better. It's just amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of Richard Lester films coming out now. You have to buy them overseas. Like I bought Juggernaut from Germany. You can get them, but you have to somebody's pay real money for them. But it was nice to see How I Won the War about in BFI and get a nice release and some nice extras, because it is a terrific film. I'm still a big fan of A Bed Sitting Room as well. It was done last year, and that was another wonderful, surrealist, weird thing about Britain made by an American. How I Won the War,
BFI as well.
Yeah, and it's like, but How I Won the War actually really benefits from the remaster, because you actually see a lot more than you did. Like when I first saw it, I don't think I saw it in a very good version. I saw it in DVD, and it didn't have the same impact. But you see it in BFI, the BFI release, all the colours are much clearer, the framing's clearer. You actually can see what the point is a lot more.
Yeah,
and it just works a lot better, really.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend from both of us. That's a wonderful film.
Yeah, I think we've both done videos on it, so you should go to the channels and check it out.
Yeah,
it is a great film.
They also released The Knack, which I haven't watched yet. I bought, but I haven't watched.
Yeah, that hasn't aged quite as well, I don't think.
I need to see it still. I've heard it didn't age so well, but what can you do? I'm trying to look for. Right. Do you want to do Eureka now? Would Eureka be good for you? Right. Try to see also. I've got a BFI one I haven't covered. It's something I bought but I haven't watched. It's sort of Flesh and Blood by Corrida, the Corrida one, which I've bought but haven't watched yet, which I'm looking forward to watching. That was a big one.
Picked that up yet.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm just bringing that up. It's not like on the list. It's just like, here's one that is interesting that maybe you should think about, because it's gotten some very good reviews. And BFI released it, and it's got some terrific. It's just maybe worth taking a look at. Are you writing it down to see? Oh, this is someone I can buy.
Oh yes, it's in my basket somewhere. My massive basket.
Yeah. So there's things like Eureka, Second Run, and Indicator and stuff. So which one do you want to start with now? Because
what have you got for Eureka?
What have I got? What did I not have for Eureka? Well, start with a re-release. They re-released Buster Keaton's films. They had a box set the year before. I didn't get that, but they re-released the films on one set. I did a video on it earlier in the year. It's wonderful. It's just Sherlock Jr. especially is a stunner. Highly recommend it. It's a wonderful collection. There's another one coming out next year from Eureka.
I saw that in March, I think.
Yep, I've already pre-ordered it, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've only watched the general from that one so far.
Yep. There's also one, the short films released a couple of years ago as well. So they're doing a lot of good Buster Keaton stuff. So I think next one you've got like the Navigator, and the next one coming out. So that's so they're doing well with Buster Keaton. So Eureka, I've also got A Fistful of Dynamite, which is a wonderful Sergio Leone movie, very underrated.
To name all 4 titles?
Duck You Sucker. Is it C'est Leroux or something like that? C'est Leroux or whatever.
Gala Testa.
Oh, right, that's it.
Once Upon a Time, The Revolution.
Yep. Yeah, so it's a wonderful film. Another James Coburn 70s great film. To go alongside Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid as a great James Coburn 70s film that no one watches enough.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with the US version, the Italian version. There is a commentary by the wonderful Christopher Frayling, who has written books in Sergio Leone.
Alex Cox does one as well.
Yeah, there's also an Alex Cox one, which is really good. It's a brilliant set.
And Kim Newman does a lot of video on it as well.
Yeah.
So, it's a great set for a great film. It's the one that no one sees of Sergio Leone's because the release wasn't as big. It came out after Once Upon a Time in the West, so I guess some people thought it was a letdown after that, but I think it's amazing. It's a stunning film.
Yeah.
It's not his fault that it followed a masterpiece, a pure masterpiece.
Yes.
You know, it's got that problem of being the film after the pure masterpiece, but it's still amazing.
Yeah, I think it just gets better with time, in actual fact.
Yes. There's a show with 4 Sisters, which came out this year.
Yes, I was going to mention that because I still haven't watched it, but I know it's there, so it's almost it's comforting to know show is there, but I still haven't watched it.
Yeah, I would recommend watching it in a run. Really, I think it's none of them are that long, and I think it's better to go through them pretty close together. Well, that's what I did anyway, and I found it quite good to do it that way. I've also written down. There's so many of these ones from Eureka. Eureka, I had to restrain myself a little bit. Fuller at Fox.
Yes.
Which, is a box set full of his. I haven't watched this one yet, but it's one I'm mentioning as something that could be of interest to you. You get a bunch of Fuller's films from the 50s at Fox and documentaries on them and tons of extras. It's fun to keep an eye on because it's a big release from Eureka, and it's not that expensive. I got it for like £45. You get a lot. Pick Up in South Street is an amazing film. It's in it. You're 40 guns.
Yeah, it's one of my favourites. It's amazing.
It's just like non-stop just wonderful stuff. So
was it limited to 6,000, 3,000? It was limited, I think.
Yeah, it's a stunner. It really is, but yeah, the whole box set looks wonderful. I'm really looking forward to getting into it. I also got Fuller at Columbia as well, which was released last year, which is another bunch of stuff he wrote and stuff he directed. So I'm trying to get all the Samuel Fuller films. Criterion released Naked Kiss and Short Corridor this year as well.
Yeah, I picked those ones up.
I didn't yet, but I will. It's just one of those ones that was. They came out when I was skint, so it was like, I need to kind of. There's only. I think after you buy Godzilla, you have to take stock a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't bought Godzilla, so I've got a little wiggle room.
Yes. So, yeah, I'm trying to make sure I'm not running out of any other ones from Eureka. Oh yes, The Fate of Lee Can, which I've just watched last night. It's wonderful. A great transfer for an old, I guess Taiwanese film. It's a terrific film by King Hu. It's got some nice plotting, some amazing martial arts sequences. It's a nice package for Eureka. You get a commentary by Tony Raines. You get a video essay on it. It's a highly recommended one. It's a very good one. I mean, Eureka has been doing some good stuff this year. They've got they also released a favourite of mine that I just got through, The Dark Half, which looks nice.
Yeah, I was going to mention the Dark Half because again, Eureka obviously have the Masters of Cinema range, but then they also have the kind of unnumbered releases, which are more, I don't know about cult, but maybe less kind of mainstream films, but still fairly mainstream.
Yes.
And they released the Dark Half. They did a really nice set of Cujo.
Yeah.
And they released Dogs of War, which obviously I'm biased because it's a great Christopher Walken film.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that.
Which I would recommend picking up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and also you can actually get a lot of films. So you usually have 2 for $25 for the new releases. So you can pick up, if there's some good films you want to get, you can pick them up. They also released Used Cars this year, which is another terrific film, a nice release. It was, because I had that in Region 1 DVD for years, so it was quite nice to get a good region, a UK version of Used Cars. So
I watched that a few weeks ago. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so there's lots of stuff from Eureka. If you look at the site, they also release like some strange, like smaller films that they only charge like £11-12 for, that you can pick up like 2 for $20. Like some, like, you don't barely get any extras on them, but you get films and you get them properly mastered up for DVD and Blu-ray. Eureka's doing a great job this year. They've done some amazing stuff, so I'm very enthusiastic about the...
Yeah, and for fans of classics, they released High Noon this year and African Queen.
Yes.
So they also do that kind of thing.
Yeah, and they've also in the last few years they've released a lot of Fritz Lang stuff and Murnau. So you're getting some really good stuff from them. So
yeah, because next year they're releasing another Fritz Lang, Cloak and Dagger with Gary Cooper.
Yeah, I've got that in Blu-ray from like Spain, I think. But obviously I'm going to buy the new release.
Yeah.
But it's I mean what they're doing is amazing.
I mean, I know there is a narrative that physical media, is dying off, but these labels are doing such a great job at producing these films and finding films that we've all forgotten about or didn't know about.
Yeah, and I think streaming is now stagnating because people are realising the problem was streaming is you lose stuff all the time in the streaming services, so nothing's stable. So it's good to have a Blu-ray to actually have a good... If you're a collector, it's good to have. So I think... Apparently it's more in America it's drying off, in Europe and UK it's less so because people are still buying a lot physical. So, well, hopefully that'll continue.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm in trouble because I've got so much stuff. So which do I do Indicator now?
Yeah, if you like.
Oh, do you have any more Eurekas?
No, not off the top of my head.
Alright. The obvious Indicator one I've got really is Hammer Volume 4.
Yeah.
I think Indicator's more your area than mine, so I was getting mine out the way before I'd like pass it over to you.
The Onslaught.
Yeah.
I mean, Indicator I think might be my favourite label and probably the only label I would perhaps think about getting all their titles. Maybe seeing I now have all their box sets. Even the films that you're not necessarily don't immediately grab you, they have so many little gems that, like No Orchids for Miss Blandish, which is released this year, is just a bizarre British noir pretended to be American, and it's really nasty and cynical and wonderful. They Made Me a Fugitive with Trevor Howard, which is just an amazing little film. Time Without Pity with Michael Redgrave. Bellman and True, The Missionary. They do kind of release these little films that personally I've never heard of or had kind of brief memories of them being released like in the 80s, like Bellman and True.
Yeah.
But their extras are wonderful. Kim Newman's a regular. Jonathan Rigby, obviously, in the Hammer box sets. He's fantastic as well. Their packaging's just lovely. Even the way their Amory cases feel, there's just something really nice about.
Yeah, calm down. Calm down.
I don't get paid by Indicator.
Yeah, we should say a good 20% of your channel is Indicator stuff now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. What are you going on? I should say Scum Limited Edition and The Last Movie were two good ones released over the year for me.
Yeah.
The Last Movie was a Dennis Hopper, famously unreleased film. It was his disastrous film after Easy Rider. Indicated a great package here. You got the film, you got a booklet, you got tons of extras explaining what happened. And Scum was the film version of Scum, the Alan Clark movie. That again, you had lots of extras, lots of details about what happened in the film. So those are two releases I think are really good from Indicator. That you never talked about, so I thought I can talk about two films. Yay!
Yes, I still haven't watched the last movie.
Yeah, but it leaves space for me. I need a bit of space in Indicator.
Obviously, they released the Dietrich Sternberg box set, which was the same box set as the Criterion, but obviously I picked up an Indicator. They released Bloody Terror, Norman J. Warren's films.
Those are the two I don't have yet.
Yeah, I know they did have issues with some of the discs in that set, but they did send replacements.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Indicator just knock it out of the park. They released arguably my favourite Coppola film, Gardens of Stone, in January, even though nobody agrees, but never mind. Yeah, they just come up with these little gems. I mean, out of all the Indicators I've bought, there's maybe only one that I probably wouldn't really watch again.
What's that?
Psych 59. It's kind of just a relationship movie, and I'm not really the biggest fan of that, with Kurt Jorgens.
Right.
But again, there's always like extras that are interesting, or a commentary that's interesting. Yeah, this year they've done really well. They are only 3 years old. It seems they've been around for longer, but they are only 3 years old. So it's going to be exciting to see, because they have, at the end of the year, they did talk about they've got new licenses with people, but they haven't announced them yet.
Yes.
So that's going to be exciting to see what they've actually got.
Yep. So yeah,
sorry for the rant.
no, it's not a rant. It's just a burst of enthusiasm that
Yes.
we got on the air from Roden being enthusiastic with something and not. So
Yes.
we've got proof.
It does happen every now and again.
Yep. So yeah. So yeah. I should again. I mentioned earlier on before he started going on Hammer Volume 4, where you get like Revenge of Frankenstein and a Joseph Losey movie, and The Damned, and a Jekyll and Hyde movie. That's quite a weird combination. I've been catching up in the Hammer volumes from Indicator, and there's lots of nice ones released over the last year or two that were films you look at the titles and that doesn't look good, and then you actually look at them in detail and it's like, oh, that looks better than I actually thought. This is something worth seeing. So
yeah, because like I said, there's always kind of films where you go, maybe not interested in that, but then when you actually watch it, you find out it's actually a little gem.
Yep. So they've got a lot of good underrated ones you should actually take a look at in more detail, because there are some wonderful stuff. I've got like 2 second run films here.
Wonder what they might be.
Yeah, if you've seen my channel, you'll never guess. Right, the Emperor's Naked Army marches on, and Journey to the Beginning of Time. I mean, these are as no-brainers as Ronan talking about Indicator with me. Like,
Yeah, they're spectacular for different reasons.
yeah, Emperor's Naked Army marches on is a stunning film. It's a great release. You don't get that much with it, but you get the film, and you get like Hara talking about the film as well in interviews. That's all you need, really. It's not like it's not something you need to have tons of extras on.
No.
And Journey to the Beginning of Time is instantly one of my favourite films. It's like if Mark Twain wrote about dinosaurs, is my description of it. There's a kind of Huckleberry Finn element to it, as these kids go down the river and they see all these dinosaurs. It's a wonderful look at science through the eyes of a child. It's amazing.
But doesn't that... Sorry.
I'll let you go on.
No, I was going to say, but doesn't that just sum up why we love cinema? Those two releases couldn't be any more different.
Yeah.
But they're both, like, amazing.
And they were both like released like within about a month of each other. They were very close releases. I know because I was buying both of them full price and it was like expensive. And
but that's why, personally, for me, I keep buying films that I've never seen before or never heard of before, because you never know, the next one might be one of your favourite films of all time.
yeah, especially when you've got a community of different people who have different interests and who talk about different films. I mentioned earlier on Touch of Film. You look at his channel and you've suddenly a ton of films to buy. Asian movie enthusiasts the same way. He's the other one where between him and Touch of Film, it's like, you're going to bankrupt me. You really are. And even Dicey Bepp, who does all these Criterion films, suddenly you want to watch them because you see his description of all these Criterion films. You've us blown on about weird films. But it's the thing is, everyone feeds into each other and you actually get a lot of films. Suddenly you think, I need to get that, I need to get that, I need to get that. And you realise there's lots of interesting films that aren't mainstream that are really worth seeing.
Yeah, your eyes are open to just things that you weren't aware of or didn't know about.
I'm really happy now Criterion's actually started releasing stuff in the UK, so you get a lot of good films now in the UK from Criterion. And the good thing is, I think it complements Eureka and, you know, BFI. They're not actually going to...
Yeah.
They're in the same area, but they're releasing different films, so you get a nice mix.
Yeah, I mean, I know obviously Criterion and Eureka both have released the Jackie Chan films, but you generally don't really get too much overlapping between them.
Yeah, and you even get overlapping. Sometimes you get different extras. I mean, like Tarkovsky's been in Criterion and in Artificial Eye, but
Yeah.
I've bought both for most of them because they're different, and it's like, I'm fine. I'll pay for both of them. I'm all keeping a sucker here.
Yeah, because I finally picked up the Criterion Stalker because the Artificial Eye print's not great, and the Criterion Stalker is just, the print's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's there's Criterion, the prints tend to be pretty stunning. I mean, even the Godzilla ones, they looked amazing. The detail you saw in the Godzilla suit was probably too much detail.
Yes,
but it was great though, just to see these old films done with care, and you're getting all these like older films that were B movies done by Indicator or Eureka that are like, this is better than you'd ever see it on release. You're getting to see something that's unusual.
Yeah, look, I broke open the William Castle box set from Indicator, which obviously wasn't released this year, but the Tingler is just fantastic.
The second one was, I think.
The extras.
Was the second one?
Yeah, this is Volume 1.
Oh,
it might have been Volume 2, was this year, yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's... I'm willing to argue it might have been.
Yeah.
But yeah,
again, just fantastic stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've been looking through the old Hammer ones for the last few years, and it's like, all these details for these films that I've never heard of. Like someone called a Snorkel, and you think, what the hell's a Snorkel? Then you actually see what it's about. It's like, oh, that looks good actually. It's like, the title's terrible, but the actual film looks good. And there's, you mentioned one, Cash and Demand, when you're in a channel.
Yeah, the Peter Cushing bank robbery one.
Yeah, which I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, there's just like weird films that you could never see before. And we've also got HMV back, so you get the premium stuff coming back, like Night Moves and all that.
Yeah, I was going to mention, because they released 7 Days in May, which is the only Blu-ray release in the UK of 7 Days in May, a wonderful Frankenheimer film.
Yeah.
And then there's at least 2 70s Hammer Dracula films.
I know.
Which look amazing.
And before HMV shut down, they also released stuff like Grand Prix, which is hard to get hold of.
Yeah.
Like Frankenheimer's Grand Prix, which is one of those films you always hear about, but it's hard to find.
Yeah, because previously they released On Dangerous Ground, which again, Nicholas Ray's kind of underrated masterpiece.
Yeah.
Which wasn't available. I think I had it in a Spanish Blu-ray. So even Premium Collection, which kind of does mainstream films, they do bring up some gems.
They did Big Wednesday, which is one of my favourite films.
Yes.
What was that?
Still haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's really good. And yeah, there's tons of really great films there. But yeah, they show some obscure films that are hard to find, that are mainstream still, that are the good ones that are worth seeing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they not released the old Thing, the original.
Again, that was the first time they released The Hidden, the lovely Jack Shoulder film from 1987, which I love, with Kyle MacLachlan. Yeah, if you're a fan of Bogart or Cagney or Edward G. Robinson, they've got a bunch of them as well. Yeah, interesting releases.
Even 101 Films did Rabid and a bunch of stuff this year as well, which is good. Like, they do more exploitation films, but you get some good ones over the years, like Black Book, Rabid, Existence.
Yeah, they released a really bizarre one with Ted Raimi, Skinner.
Yep. They even released Howard the Duck.
Yes.
I mean, they're not snobs, they will try stuff. They did Roller Coaster, which was this old George Segal movie from the 70s.
Yep. They did The Wonderful Trespass.
Yep. So there is lots of really cool films, and they actually put the extras on them that are actually worth watching rather than just we'll just release the film. It's like, no, we're going to give you some good stuff.
I should actually say, Arrow's Candyman, was that this year or was that last year? Last year.
It was late last year. It came out at the same time. I think so. I mean, it came out. I'm positive.
That was a really good release as well.
I'm positive it came out late last year, just around about the same time as Crimson Peak.
Yeah, must have been.
Yeah, but I mean, it was so close to the end of the year, I think, that it kind of... most people probably bought it this year.
That's another good release.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of Arrow stuff is amazing. I mean, the actual Crimson Peak release was terrific. You got a lot of new extras in it and a lot of new details. But yeah, I mean, if you just look through stuff, you can get a ton of extras. You get like specialists.
Yeah. Even
ones that are doing really old exploitation movies. Like, I did a whole series of videos about like old documentaries about exploitation films that were all just Blu-ray extras on like 88 film releases, but they were so good. Really, it was like worth talking about them because they were so detailed. So that's what's really good about the extras if you get a good distributor.
Yeah.
They really put the effort in.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually mentioned 88 films and I don't actually have any on the list, but 88 films do release interesting kind of cult ones. Obviously, they've got an Asian collection, which is some fun stuff from the 70s, 60s.
Yeah.
An Italian collection, a slasher collection. So they are one to watch. Again, they usually have sales as well, so you can pick up some really interesting, odd little films.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're buying films from all these distributors. It's trying to balance them out. Like, I'll buy so much from Arrow, I'll buy so much from this one. You know, just try and get as much as you can from limited resources. I mean, every time there's an Arrow sale, I say I'm not going to buy much, and then £50 later, I've still got some I want to buy. Like the last Arrow sale, I ended up picking up a lot of like old Asian films from Third Window that I hadn't got, like Sian Sono films that I'd been kind of eyeing up that I hadn't quite got to yet. So
yeah, Third Window are really good, and I suppose we should mention One Cut of the Dead, which is a film I think we both did videos on and we both really enjoyed.
Yeah, that was one of those films that was released elsewhere over the last few years and we finally got it this year.
Yeah.
So it was it was really good, fun film. When we get that stuff with Third Window, they bring out some like anti-porno and love exposure and stuff like that years ago would not be released here, and now you're getting that in those. Did they do Tag as well? Or was that someone else?
Tag. Third Window.
Tag is great. Tag is really good. That was one of my least viewed videos. I did Tag. I did a video on it and it was like nobody watched it, no one cared. I was like, oh well. So there's always some that there's something that just dropped dead and it's like, I guess no one cared about this film.
It'll come around.
And then there's other ones you think, no one cared this film, they do well, and it's like, what, really? This one got attention?
Yeah, I could also mention Second Sight, which again are a kind of interesting label that do cult and small and horror kind of things. They did special editions of Asylum and House of Drip Blood, both Amicus.
I'm getting them in January with the the normal versions, not limited edition.
Yeah, they do then release a standard Blu-ray, which are usually black boxes, which are quite nice. And they also did Flight of the Navigator, which was a little throwback to the 80s and innocent times.
I never saw that one. It was one of those ones that passed me by in the 80s.
Yeah.
I was a Last Starfighter man. You can't be both.
Yeah, they're both similar veins.
Yeah, I mean, it's either one or the other. Yeah, they do some good stuff. It's it's nice to look through their back catalogue and see some strange films and see what they've got. There's always stuff you think, when that's in sale, I'm buying it.
They also did a special edition of In Bruges as well.
Yeah, I need to get that one. I really like In Bruges, but
yeah, you actually got a copy of the script, like the entire script with it as well.
Yeah, they did an Apocalypse as well this year.
Yes.
An Upgrade, two films I really liked. Upgrade was a terrific film from last year. That was pretty much artificial intelligence inside a man's brain thing that was really good. And an Apocalypse I just saw last week, and it's really wonderful. A musical zombie film, which from Scotland, and actually is good. It was very surprising. I was pleasantly surprised this was actually a good film. So
that does sound surprising.
I know it's weird because not all the songs work, but it actually does work as a film. It's nice and cheerful, but tons of gore effects as well. So whenever there's a happy moment, you get a gore effect as well, just to even it out.
Yeah, I might have to check it out.
Yep. You sound so enthusiastic with that one.
Yes, I might have to check it out.
Yeah, I'll see that one before I die. Honest.
Yeah. Or Indicator releasing it.
No, second sight. When your backups are actually releasing it, so
yeah, okay.
It should at least catch your attention.
Yes.
So, is there any films coming out next year you already know about that you're eyeing up, that you're kind of thinking of, like, I'm buying that, or?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, I mentioned the Fritz Lang from Eureka, which I'll buy. I think I've pre-ordered Sansaline Legité by Marker, which is out tomorrow on Criterion in the UK.
I have as well.
Yeah.
Sansaline was one of my favourite films. That's so good.
Yeah, and Legité is a really unusual but wonderful little film.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've probably forgotten about pre-orders that are coming in January or February, but
yeah, I've got Sands from the Bailiff coming in January from Criterion. I've pre-ordered, even though it is kind of one of the more expensive ones. I was like, I love that film so much, I just want it. I'm willing to pay extra money for it just to.
I paid extra for Region A.
What?
I paid extra from the Region A Criterion.
Yeah, no, it was one of those ones. It's like, I'll just pay the money. I just want that film. I mean, I want to get Matewan next year once I've got some money again. That's when. And there's a bunch of other ones I want to get through. You can find some good stuff in Amazon, like sellers from America that you can get some good stuff from. After a film has been out for a while, you can sometimes get some good sales on. And I got Until the End of the World at a good price, so that was quite nice. But yeah, there's all these pre-orders already made. There's a couple of King Hu films coming out next year that I want. I can't remember the title of them. I think one's Come Drink With Me. There's another one as well that he made later on that's a very weird title. It's the one he made at the same time as Legends of the Mountain. So there are some pre-orders already got, and there's some good.
Yeah, I think they've tapped into that vein, so that's gonna keep running for a little while, I think.
I know, and there's suckers like me who spend the money every time. Winter Kills from Indicator in January.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. I love Winter Kills. It's such a good film, and it's very underrated, and a great cast, and it's one of my favourite conspiracy movies. It's just it's a conspiracy movie with a sense of humour, so you don't have to go too much into the conspiracy and take it too seriously. It's still serious, but there is humour to it as well, so it's got a sense of humour about its own conspiracy, which is nice.
Yes. And second run are releasing Valerie in her Week of Wonders in Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, I've pre-ordered that as well.
Which I think is only available in Blu-ray and Criterion in the States, I think.
Yeah, I was about to cave. I was like weeks away from caving to buy that one then from Criterion when they announced the the release in second run, it was like, oh, thank God, it's so much cheaper over here than it would have been to buy it from America.
Yeah, I've pre-ordered it as well.
Yeah, it's a wonderful film. You can guarantee I'll be doing a video on that one, because I was right thinking of doing a video on that one before. And I need to get back into Chris Marker stuff, because I've got all the films and like the best of collection stuff. I just need to go and rewatch his films, I think. Because he's one of my planned projects for next year, but I'm not quite sure when I'll get to him. Do you know what I mean? I think you've mentioned a few people at Herzog that you're planning to get to.
Yeah, and Karasmaki, but I think that's going to be down the road somewhat.
Yep. So, I think that's us now. We've actually went through the best Blu-rays of the year and the ones we like the look of that were released this year that we still haven't watched.
Yes, there's quite a lot. So I would say it's been a pretty good year if you collect physical media or you like films in general.
Yep. But not a good year if you actually go to the cinema, because I got to say, I go to the cinema a lot, and it's not been great this year. It really hasn't been.
What would you say the best film that you've seen in the cinema is?
You have to... The cinema?
Yeah.
I was thinking the best films I've seen this year weren't in the cinema.
Yeah.
John Wick 3, honestly.
I still haven't seen it, but...
Honestly, that was when I actually looked at my best of the year. I made a list for a video.
Yeah.
The one that, the top of the ones I saw in the cinema was John Wick 3. It was just like, that was just better than any of the other ones I saw. It was just, that's it. It worked. Yeah. But most of the ones that are the top of the year for me, I saw them at home, because where I live, they don't come round here.
Yeah.
So you don't see them until later. And my favourite film of this year, which you'll have to watch my video on, I saw on streaming. Because you couldn't get it anywhere else. It was just like that was the only place to get it. So that's the way it goes sometimes. You just have to get a film where you can and hope for the best. The worst films I saw this year were all in the cinema.
So, yes, I got that impression.
Yep. 2 in particular. So, the cinema was The Bane of My Existence, and actually the new release this year. I'm hoping next year's going to be better, but I'm much more enthusiastic about the next few years' video and Blu-ray releases than I actually am in the cinema releases, because even the ones I'm interested in the cinema next year, I've got to say I'm much more excited about seeing Valley of the Weaker Wonders or Winter Kills and home entertainment now. I mean, most of the films that are released. I mean, most of the films that are released I actually take my little nephew to see because they're kids' films. I mean, there's not that many releases that are that good that I want to see by myself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're talking to someone who went and saw Ninjago with my nephew. I've seen Ninjago in the cinema. I know hell.
Yes.
There's a special level of hell that exists. There's always one every year. If you take children to cinema, there's always one every year that you end up feeling that you're going to die before the film's ended.
Yes.
You know, there's always one. Anyway, I better not go too off track there.
No. Might start crying.
I know. But yeah, it's been great for like Blu-rays though this year. Blu-rays have been amazing. Yes. Most of my great experiences have been in actually at home watching films, because there's been some great stuff. Even films you haven't seen for years, have been out for years, and you finally get to see them. Like I mentioned, I saw Piranha last night on Blu-ray, and it was like, I bet you never saw this as good in the cinema. This was like, it was so good watching all the details in this frame that you would never see normally. Yeah. It was like, it looks like a new film, but it includes actors who have been long dead. You know.
Yes.
But it was so entertaining. I think that's the big thing as you get older, is you realise there's so much stuff out that was made before you were born that it's probably more worthwhile for your time than actually watching a lot of the new stuff, because a lot of the new stuff is just garbage.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly how I feel. I'm not up to date on modern cinema that much, and there's just so much older stuff.
Yeah, I still try and keep my head in because there's some good years that come out, but this year did not did not help that attitude really.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. Because I'm going to go see a new Star Wars film this week, and I'm not looking forward to it. I'm expecting the worst, and it's like that's be the last film of this year, and it's like, I bet it's going to be crap.
Yeah, in one of the cinemas in Glasgow, they're showing episode 7, episode 8, and episode 9 all in a row.
Wouldn't that make you really depressed?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I liked episode 8 actually, but episode 7's a hard set, and this one does not look like it's going to be that good. This one looks like it's a mess. Like, I've watched the trailers, and there's not one good shot in this bloody film. Trailers, all the show-off shots don't make any sense. But anyway, I wouldn't rant with that. That's another video.
Yeah, it's like all of them. I'll see it at some point on home video.
Yep. And then you'll judge it harshly.
Maybe.
Okay, what did you think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? I know you've seen it.
I just thought it was a bit dull. And again, way too long. And just not really that interesting. I mean, I like how he kind of changed history again. It's a nice thought, but I don't know. Maybe I wasn't in the right mood for it again. I haven't particularly been feeling well, but I just thought it wasn't great.
I really enjoyed it, but it's no John Wick 3.
No, evidently not.
Yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop now. We're now starting to ramble into incoherence. We hope you enjoyed this. We're going to be back next year. So, Thanks for listening.
Hope Santa's good to you and you get lots of vouchers to buy Blu-rays.
Yes, but don't mess it up and buy bad Blu-rays.
Yes, good advice.
Stick to the Blu-rays we've recommended to you.
Yes,
and you'll
you won't
be fine.
go wrong.
Yep. Well, I'll see you next year. I hope you enjoyed this. Goodbye.